Good afternoon. Namaste to everybody who have joined us. A warm welcome from Firefly, Tea Club and All On. I'm Darshana Dapke, your host for tonight. We began with a thought a few months back on E-Club, a platform for children. And there, this thought came up with a beautiful vision, and eventually we had beautiful videos for the children. We thought, why should we limit ourselves only here? Let us take this further. And then we came up with the whole concept of Tea Club, a digital platform exclusively for teachers. What do we do on this platform? We have sessions, we have speakers, we have mentors who come and interact with the teachers. Here, the teachers learn, exchange their ideas, their classroom experiences, take the thought from the mentors or the speakers and try and apply it in their classroom. Eventually, this is part of their professional development. Not only this, but we also curated sessions which eventually will come now in a few days for personal growth of the teachers. So, academic growth, what does that have? Professional development. We have mentors who are going to teach and talk about math, science, languages, grammar, art, and computers. Well, today's session is on computers, and this session does not limit there. We have an extension to the session. So, the first part we call segment, and the next part we call as part 2, which we will address coding. So, in today's session, we're going to address these two topics which go hand in hand, computers and coding. So when we talk about digital age, we talk about NEP, computers or IT is what comes in the prime focus. During COVID, we all have experienced this, that how important digital platform is. Even right now, I am on a screen and I am interacting with you all on a digital platform. It is easy, it is convenient, and it reaches masses. Taking this thought further, I am very proud to invite Ms.Sheetal Sheth, who is the speaker for today's session in the segment 1. Ms. Sheetal has a vast experience in IT. She is a content developer and a true teacher at heart. She is very passionate on teaching children new methods and adapting herself. Well, all teachers, we all of us love to learn. The learning for teacher never stops. So let me welcome Sheetal Sheth, our expert for today in segment 1, who is going to talk about computers in the classroom.
Namaste and good afternoon, friends. Thank you, Darshana, for making me part of this tea club and giving me this platform to share my knowledge and experience. Friends, today I'm going to share my knowledge and experience that I have gained in the field of education so far in my journey. Let's be the change. So, when we are talking about the change, friends, the thing that is coming to my mind is the recent pandemic scenario when everything, the world came standstill. There was a big question mark on functioning of the majority of the industries. But did the school stop? No, the school did not shut down. Thanks to each one of you. And when I'm saying this, I'm immensely proud that I'm also a part of the teacher community because of whom the schools did not shut. Overnight, we adopted this change so beautifully that we shifted the schools from offline to online module. And friends, change is what keeps us going. Change is needed in every aspect of our life to keep up with the current world and the present times. As rightly quoted by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. अगर हमें हमारे फ्यूचर जनरेशन में कोई चेंज देखना है, जो चेंज देखना है वो हमें आज हमारे प्रोफेशन में अभी डेवलप करना पड़ेगा. The thing is, we all know, being 21st century teachers, that the coming world, the coming generation will require the individuals who are thinkers, who are communicators, and who are problem solvers. And if we want to see all these skills to be developed in our children, we will have to inculcate all these skill sets in our teaching process during our present time in our classroom. So friends, I am going to share today few teaching strategies, the techniques which has worked in my classroom, and I'm sure it will be helpful to you too in your with your children to achieve your learning goals in your classrooms. There are many teaching strategies developed by the experts. Today I'm going to share three out of them. The first one is called the virtual thinking routine. It's also called visual thinking routine. Friends, as humans, by nature, we are visual thinkers. Okay, as we rightly somebody said, like, we have the phrase say that picture is one single picture is worth 1,000 words. So when everything we can visualize becomes easier for us to remember and to retain in our memory. So this visual thinking routines helps to visualize our thoughts and organize our thoughts, and it helps children to think critically and organize their thoughts. Now, there are many visual thinking routines available online. If you will see and type, and you will find on the online platform, there are many ready templates available. There are think, pair, share, see, think, wonder. Then there are many. The one I'm going to share here today is called I see, I think, I wonder. In this thinking routine, friends, first we display an image in front of the children. We ask them to observe. Now, the image that we select has to be really meaningful, that which would lead them to think. They should be, that picture should say something to them, like, which should guide them to think that what the picture is talking about. After they observe the image, we give them this template to fill, where in the first column they are going to note down what they physically observe. So their observation skill is developed. The second column, they write down what thoughts came to their mind when they were observing that image. So they are analyzing their thoughts here. And the third column, they write down what I wonder is all the questions that arised in their mind when they were observing the image. So it is enforcing the skill of critical thinking. Now here, friends, मैंने जो आपके सामने एक एग्जाम्पल शेयर कर रही हूँ, अगर आप ये इमेज देखेंगे तो आपको दिखाई देगा कि ये इमेज ये बता रही है कि कैसे टीवी डेवलप हुआ, कैसे एडवांसमेंट हुआ टीवी में. Like first we used to use in past black and white televisions which were very big in size. Slowly it became color televisions which were little compact. And the latest one, the currently आज जो हम लोग LCD और LED use कर रहे हैं with the best of the picture qualities and the best of the sound. Correct? Now similarly, then we tell them that the similarly, like televisions have evolved over the years, वैसे ही computers भी evolved हुए हैं. The similarly computers have evolved and advanced over the years. Now this beautiful analogy, when you give them before starting your lesson on generation of computers, you can understand, friends, that they will be able to relate the concept and connect with the concept so well. And once they fill the template, you can ask few of your learners to share their responses, and it will lead to your it will lead your classroom to the beautiful class discussion. Okay, the second strategy that I'm sharing here is application based teaching. Friends, when we were small, when we were students, I'm sure we all had these questions in our mind whenever we were learning something new. Why am I learning this? Or where I'm going to use this in my real life? Okay, मुझे इसकी क्या जरूरत होने वाली है, मैं ये कहाँ, मैं लाइफ में कहाँ यूज करने वाली. If these questions are answered, before introducing any concepts or before beginning any new topic. It will help them to connect and understand better. यहाँ पे मैं जो आपके सामने एग्जाम्पल शेयर कर रही हूँ कि मैंने दो अलग फॉर्मेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, टेक्स्ट फॉर्मेटेड इन टू डिफरेंट वेज इन टू डॉक्यूमेंट्स विच यू कैन सी हियर. One is in the form of a paragraph, the other is in the form of columns. Now friends, whenever you are showing them images, let them first observe to inculcate that observation skills, to enforce those observation skills, and always ask questions. The effective questioning techniques should be the part of each and every session of your classroom, because questions leads them to think, and thinking skills are very very important in today's time. We want to develop the critical thinking skills into them. We want them to become thinkers, problem solvers. Okay. Now, after you show this image, you can ask them that where this kind of a text is formatted in real life. Where do they see this kind of a text in real life? You will get varied answers like newspapers, magazines, and that is why you are learning to format these two different types of text formatting. And then you can teach your lesson from your textbook using different steps on how to format this type of a text. Now, instead of directly just starting with the steps, if when you do this beforehand, this will not take much of your time, but it will help you to them to understand why are they learning this, and their interest will increase in the thing, and they will be curious about knowing the things, and they'll be able to connect better that why are they learning this. Okay, the third technique which I'm sharing here is a flipped classroom, friends. Flipped classroom is very much unlike your traditional classroom. In our traditional classroom, what we do is we first teach the lesson, teaching material, and then we give them home assignment. Okay, now in flipped classroom, as the name suggests, what we do is we give them the preparing material at home. We give them home assignment before to prepare at home, and then when they come to the classroom, we engage them in interesting activities during the class time. So when they are with you in the classroom, you are giving them learning engagements and activities which are more productive and which requires your guidance. Okay. Now, so for example, for the flipped classroom, if you are doing the lesson on artificial intelligence, so you want to know about advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence. So what you can do is you can ask them to read the chapter at home. You can send some online links related with your material. Ask them to research and find out more about the topic. When they come back in the classroom, you can divide the class into two groups, and you can conduct a debate in your classroom for advanced pros and cons of the artificial intelligence. Again, I'm telling you, it will lead to it will leave your classroom into that buzzing mode, but I promise you, it will be a very good noise. And your entire chapter will be done with so much of healthy discussions going on in your class. Okay. Now, what if we learn, friends, with pleasure we never forget? हम जब joyful, happy mood में रहते हैं, तो whatever we learn retains. It remains in our memory for a lifetime. So if we want our children to retain and remember whatever they are learning, we need to make our lessons fun and interesting for them. Now, there are many ways and many online platforms available which will make your classroom very interesting place. The first one I'm sharing here is playing quiz on Kahoot and Quizzes. These are the two online sites, friends, kahoot.com and quizzes.com, there are digital quizzes already available on different topics. You can also edit and customize these quizzes as per your requirement. All you need to do is, once you select the quiz which you want to play with your children, you just need to share the link with them. Once you share the link and you play these quizzes online, I'm sure they are going to love it. You just need to download the report after they finish playing the quizzes. And the report is downloaded in the Excel format. where you will have complete analysis of each child. How many questions did the child attempted? How many questions are correct? How many questions are wrong? And you can use this record as your formative assessment. Without pen and paper, friends, your formative assessment is done. The second is online games. I'm sure many of you must be already playing online games in your practical sessions. But here I would like to suggest only one thing, that when you are giving them this learning games, integrate those games, integrate that computer class with the other subjects. Like you can coordinate with the other subject teachers. For example, when you are giving them keyboard practice, so you can collaborate with their English teacher or their math teachers in the primary sections if they are doing the spellings or they are doing addition or subtractions. Simultaneously, you can, in that particular week, you can give them games on the keyboard for the same topic. Say examples for addition, you can give them Tux Math or any other related online game on addition or subtraction, what they are doing in that current week in their classrooms. So what happens here? Not only your keyboard practice is done, but also they are doing their math practice. So that revision and practice will help them to retain both the concepts, So they are learning computer science along with their math. Planning activities. When we are talking about computer science, friends, it's not necessary we all the time give them digital medium to play or to practice with. But here you can also plan some art and craft related activities. Involve them in beautifying your computer lab. Let them let them make some beautiful charts on do's and don'ts of the computers, rules of your computer lab, then cyber safety rules. So you can involve them and give them that classroom time to prepare all these fun activities, because children love that, doing all those things. Teamwork. uh, as far as possible, give them any, like this chart making and any activity you are giving them task, making presentations, give them teamwork, because that is also very much required in today's time to develop their social and emotional skills. When they are working in groups, they understand the problem solving, conflict solving abilities and skills are developed, social emotional skills are developed, respecting each other's opinion. All these are very important skills which are needed. We are not focusing only on being a computer teacher. You are not focusing only on your curriculum, but the overall development of the child. When I'm talking about the field trip, whenever you are going out on the field trip or any outside excursions, the world currently is filled of technology. So take this opportunity to explain them how those technology around them is working, like those ATM machines, or when you go to any mall or any those sliding doors which are opening with the sensors. There are so many examples you can share with them that they are based on technology. Guest speakers. When I'm talking about the guest speakers, you must be having the question, where do I get the guest speakers from? Now here I would like to share with you that you can involve parent body in their learning process, and parents also are very happy to be the part of their children's learning process. So example, when you are doing the topic on hardware and software, you can see the list of the parents. You may find some hardware engineers, software engineers in the related field. Or when you are doing the chapter on cyber safety, you can call the cyber safety police officers as guest speakers. Invite them. Guest speakers are very useful in today's time, because children get to interact with the professionals and get the first hand information from these experts, which help them to connect with the real world. Exhibition. When we are talking about the exhibition, friends, whenever there is an exhibition in the school, we always talk about the science exhibition. But don't forget that computer science is a collaboration of mathematics and science. So make computer science as a part of exhibition. Okay. talk to your leaders, talk to your heads, and just see to it that computer science is also a part of this exhibition. Just give them the topic, the children will create beautiful projects. Let them create beautiful projects on the HTML. They can create website using their knowledge of HTML. They can create presentations. They can create the project on scratch and display their learning. And children love to display their learning and knowledge to the learning community. Friends, I'm going to share now few digital and technical resources which has helped me and which I explored and found during the online scenario when there were many challenges in front of us. These are the resources which made our life very simple, and I'm sure I'm till today I'm using this in my offline scenario during my classrooms also. Till to date I'm using this resources which are really fun to use and which makes our life really easy. The first one here is live worksheet. Again, this is a digital platform. When you go to this liveworksheet.com, you can register yourself being a teacher. There are free registrations available here. Again, on this site, liveworksheet.com, friends, you will find many ample of worksheets readily available, or you can create your own worksheet as per your requirement. Now, here also, once you select the worksheet which you want to give your children to solve, once you just need to share the link. Once they click on the link, the worksheet will open on the screen. They can solve the worksheet individually. Once they finish solving the worksheet, down there is a finish button. Once they click on the finish button, they will have two options: check my answers or email my worksheet to the teacher. And they can select any of the options. When they select email, the entire solved worksheet will be emailed to you with the email ID of the child. And when they select check my answer, it will auto correct the entire worksheet and display the score. All you need to do is you can just note down their scores as per their roll numbers or as per the corresponding child. And again, you can use this score as your formative assessment. Okay, this is a very interesting site which is called a virtual tour. You will type this virtual tour. There are many ample of links you will find out. I would just advise you that before sharing with the children, you first explore the correct link, which will take you to the correct site. Now, this virtual tour, friends, you can use when you are doing your history of computers chapter or a topic. So they are the links where it will take you to the computer museum, and they have computers right from supercomputers, microcomputers, mainframe computers, till today all the types of computers. You can enter the rooms virtually, and each room has a different types of computers with all the related information on it, and children will love to explore this virtual tour. YouTube, friends, I'm sure you all are aware about the YouTube, but on the YouTube, you can find out the beautiful TED videos which are on the current developments on the field, in the field of technology. So you can on and often, regularly, you can share those videos in your classroom with your children, which will inspire them and motivate them to take up and give them the exposure of the career opportunities available in this field. Read aloud books. Friends, if you will go to YouTube, there are many read aloud books available on the topic of computer science. When we talk about the books, we always think about English, but that is not the scene. You can use these books in your classroom, so you are not only working on their vocabulary on the of the computer science, but they are also getting the knowledge of the computer science. I'm sure you have something to take away from all these digital resources and strategies that I have shared with you. I would like to share this few quotes by experts. Technology has become the wings that will allow the educational world to fly farther and faster than ever before, if we will allow it. If we will allow it is here, like as teachers, if we include computer technology in our classroom very mindfully and consciously, because that is what the pen and paper of today's time. Our children, the 21st century children, have grown up using technology, right from smartphones, televisions, power stations, earpods, and the list is endless. They are surrounded by technology. So why not to use this technology for their learning and teaching also? Because they love to use the technology. We need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand, because it is the pen and paper of our time, and it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. As we know, the exposure that today's children are having is enormous, and we can use that, positively in our classroom, and we can guide them, the right from wrong. Being today's modern educators, we don't need to teach them what to think, but we need to guide them how to think. Okay, now you must be surprised, friends, because there are so many things that we discuss. We need to use technology, we need to use digital resources, we need to use application based questions, and so many things we discussed, technologies and practices which we need to do. And I know that being a teacher, हमारा our plate is always full of work. It never ends. For teachers, the work never ends. Is one or the other events and classroom events, the school events, exams, one or the other thing coming up. So where the time to do all this? So friends, I would like to share with you all that Firefly QR Computer Science book series is a beautiful book series where all these things and most of the features which I discussed with you today is available in one packet. So if you will explore the features of these books, you will find the real life examples, application based learning. There are thinking skills questions, higher thinking order skills questions. There are video notes which makes you aware about the current happenings in the world. So there are a lot of things available and in this one book.
शीतल मैम, आपने अभी ये जो सेशन पूरा हमें एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है। टाइम बहुत लिमिटेड है हमारे पास, लेकिन एक 5 सेंटेंसेस में या शॉर्ट में अगर मैं बताऊं, तो व्हाट आई हैव अंडरस्टूड इज दैट our responsibility or as teachers, and especially today our viewers or participants, may I say, all of them are computer teachers. So हम सबका सिर्फ रिस्ट्रिक्शन या रिस्ट्रिक्टेड एरिया हम बताते हैं कि हम लैब में ही होते हैं या हम एक बुक तक रिस्ट्रिक्टेड होते हैं, लेकिन आपने ये जो फायरफ्लाई सीरीज के बारे में बताया कंप्यूटर बुक का, कि इसमें इतने सारे स्ट्रैटेजीज हैं, सो विच मेक्स अस थिंक दैट यू हैव टू पुल योर सेल्फ आउट बियॉन्ड द क्लासरूम, रीच आउट टू मोर। आप कुछ आपका एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर सकते हैं कि ये जो आपने हमको डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज दिखाए, जैसे थिंकिंग रूटीन्स के बारे में बताया, मुझे सबसे अच्छा लगा वो वर्चुअल ट्रिप्स है। सो ऑफ कोर्स वर्चुअल ट्रिप्स तो सब हम बाहर नहीं जाते हैं, और हम सोचते हैं कि कंप्यूटर्स का क्या है, बेसिक्स ऑफ कंप्यूटर आ गया तो हो गया। इट्स नॉट नॉट लाइक दैट, इट्स समथिंग फॉर बिल्डिंग फॉर फ्यूचर नाउ।
ये दर्शना, मुझे बहुत खुशी होगी टू शेयर माई वन ऑफ द एक्सपीरियंस। लाइक वंस मैं जब भी हिस्ट्री ऑफ कंप्यूटर्स पढ़ा रही थी मेरे बच्चों को, तो बिफोर वी ओपन द टेक्स्ट बुक, आई टुक देम टू द कंप्यूटर लैब, आई शेयर दिस लिंक विद देम and just ask them to explore all the different types of computers that they could see, and I told them to note down in their book whatever information they got. And once, you believe me, once we come back into the classroom and we open the textbook, your half of the chapter is done. Because most of the things and most of the computers, they explored on their own, and they love doing that, because children love using technology nowadays. So your half of the work is done. The only thing is you are helping them how to explore the technology. So, and once you come to the classroom, you will be amazed that when you open the textbook, the many of the things of the computers they already know and they've already done it. And they now when they will read from the textbook, they can connect it so beautifully that you means they understand everything that you are talking about.
I have been, reading the interaction that the teachers are having with this module right now. And very proud to say that many of them are already experimenting. They're already involving themselves into so many things. Like I've just read a comment with the teacher saying that she is using a lot of, the strategies that you have shared in her EVS classroom also. So a lot of integration is happening. Talking about integration, I want to take this a little bit further and say, okay, now I constantly keep on hearing about coding, coding classes, coding after school classes, and coding must be there. We talk about digital media, digital age, everything is digital. Do you think coding is, necessary right now, or कि वो बाद में कर सकते हैं? As an educator in computers, what do you think कि coding का क्या importance है?
Coding, as I will tell you, I would just like to share this that right now, right from your dhobis and your vegetable vendors, your milk vendors, anybody you see, they are using mobile phones.
Yes,
Do you think they know English? Do you think they know technology word or any big terms, technical terms? No. But they all are using it because it is a layman's language in today's time.
True.
And if you will see around you, right from when you get up in the morning, when you put that snooze button on your watch, your
Yes.
alarm clock, your smartwatches.
Yeah.
Yes. When you travel, your Uber, Olas, you want to order, you are hungry, you want to order food. During COVID times, even technologies helped that you could not physically visit the doctors, but through the virtual medium, you can even consult your doctors on this. So you can understand how the technology has grown. And this COVID has made us understand the importance of technology. And because of the technology, we survived all these years, even without moving out of our house. So it is, yes, it is the need of hour because all these apps, friends, work on coding.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sheetal, for coming here and helping us out and guiding us in the first session that was on computers. Thank you so much, and
My pleasure.
looking for many more sessions with you in the future. And I'm sure the teachers have also, understood and learned a lot and exchanged a lot. And this thought process will go on. We are just doing the work of planting a seed to nurture it and to make it grow, and ultimately the end user, the child, has to be benefited, which is the common goal for all of us. Thank you so much for be coming with us. We move on to the second segment now.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We move on to the second session right now, and that is going to be on coding. So we had first segment on computers, and now we are moving on to coding. Shouldn't we say that coding and computers, they both are go hand in hand and are like sisters together? Proud privilege to introduce yourself, all of you, to Reema Deshkar. Reema Deshkar is a coding expert. She teaches not only the children but also the teachers about coding. She also one of the main persons to hold the coding bee competition, which is a national level competition for coding. So I'm not going to take much of your time, and I will invite Reema to the podium so that she can take segment 2, that is on coding.
Hi everyone, namaste. It is so nice that, yes, of course, I am here to talk to you about coding, but at the same time, to interact with so many people, right? Interact in the sense, yes, you are on live chat. आप लोग बहुत सारे कमेंट्स भेज रहे थे, मैं लास्ट वाले सेशन में देख रही थी, इट वाज रियली नाइस. सो इस सेशन में भी वट एवर योर फीलिंग्स, वट एवर इज योर थॉट प्रोसेस व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट कोडिंग, प्लीज डू शेयर, राइट. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, जैसे मैम ने बोला है कि कोडिंग और कंप्यूटर दोनों बहनें हैं, दो सिस्टर्स है, राइट? यस, ऑफ कोर्स दे आर टू सिस्टर्स, और यू कैन से टू साइड्स ऑफ द सेम कॉइन. क्यों क्यों ऐसे बोल रहे हैं? व्हाई आर वी सेइंग दिस? सो कंप्यूटर ने हम लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कंप्यूटर हैज टॉट अस हार्डवेयर क्या होता है, सॉफ्टवेयर क्या होता है, व्हाट आर द इनपुट डिवाइसेस, व्हाट आर आउटपुट डिवाइसेस. सो विच मीन्स if I compare computer science or the subject computer with the parts of our body, okay, my head, my hands, my legs, I compare this. So you, in computers, we get to know about the functions of each part of our body, right? और कोडिंग को अगर मैं बोलूं कि ब्लड सर्कुलेशन है, ऑक्सीजन ऑक्सीजन ट्रांसमिशन है इन द ब्लड, राइट? अगर वैसे बोलूं तो हाउ डज इट साउंड? व्हाई एम आई सेइंग दिस? ऑफ कोर्स वी नो व्हाट इज हार्डवेयर, वी नो व्हाट इज सॉफ्टवेयर, but the moment you start communicating with it, the moment you start communicating with the technology, the way the body gets communicated through our blood, my hand is moving, okay, I am, so the moment I feel something is hot, I just move away my hand. Why? There is some communication, my brain cells are being communicated, right? So similarly, वैसे ही होते हैं, जब मैं मेरे टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कम्युनिकेट करती हूँ और जो लैंग्वेज यूज करके करती हूँ, वही है मेरा कोडिंग. सो कोविड हैज टॉट अस दैट कम व्हाट मे, सो आई जस्ट चेंज माय स्लाइड, या, सो कम व्हाट मे, व्हाटएवर इज द सिचुएशन, अगर हम लोग गुस्सा भी करें अपने बच्चों पर, अरे पूरा दिन तुम गेमिंग कर रहे हो, पूरा दिन आप लैपटॉप के पास बैठे हो, यू आर सिटिंग राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ द टेलीविजन डूइंग समथिंग, ऑर्डरिंग समथिंग ऑन ई कॉमर्स पोर्टल, whatever said and done, we are at the mercy of technology. जैसे मैम ने एग्जाम्पल दिया, राइट, वी द मॉर्निंग हम लोग उठ जाते हैं, फ्रॉम द स्नूज बटन टू एट नाइट सेटिंग द अलार्म कि कल मुझे 6:30 बजे उठना है, 6:30 नहीं, 5:45 तक उठना है, ऐसा, ठीक है? द वे वी डू दिस, that is, which means we are taking help of technology, right? So yes, of course, we have to put a limit to the digitalization from the perspective of a child, but we cannot completely ignore it. So before I begin my session, I want to tell you, I want to tell each and every one of you, सबको मैं यही बोलना चाहती हूँ, the moment I get the new word coding, the call of the hour, okay, it's in vogue, fashion. The moment I get that word coding, we have to understand and get convinced that हाँ, मुझे मेरे क्लास में कोडिंग के बेसिक्स, कोडिंग के बेसिक लैंग्वेजेस, बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स मुझे बच्चों को सिखाना है. और it is not a rocket science. Again, let me tell you, we have been, most of the people or students get intimidated by the fact, अरे कोडिंग मतलब वो काला स्क्रीन है, मैं सामने बैठी हूँ, या कोई मूवी में, स्काईफाई मूवी में जो देखते हैं हम लोग, इधर से वो जा रहा है, इधर से आई एम जस्ट ऑन द कंप्यूटर डूइंग दैट. दैट कम्स मच लेटर, दैट कम्स मच लेटर. पर उसके पहले जो फंडामेंटल्स होते हैं, जो बेसिक्स होते हैं, इट इज वेरी सिंपल. और बच्चों के लिए इट इज सो विजुअल. नाउ वी हैव सो मेनी different platforms which helps the child to grasp the concept of coding at one go, right? So I feel that before talking to you about that how coding can be a part of our curriculum, not an extra thing, not an after school activity, not a going for some activity class, you're learning coding for an activity class, not like that. It has to be a part of our curriculum. जैसे इंग्लिश, हिस्ट्री, साइंस, मैथ्स, कंप्यूटर सीखते हैं, वैसे ही कोडिंग सीखना चाहिए. और क्यों नहीं? सो हम लोग कन्विंस्ड हो गए कि कोडिंग सीखना है, पर क्यों सीखेंगे? तो हम लोग बहुत बार, ये पूरा ईरा में जो कोविड ईरा था, प्लस आफ्टर दैट जब हम लोग कोविड ईरा को खत्म करके व्हेन वी केम टू दिस ऑफलाइन और बैक टू आवर नॉर्मल ईरा जब आ गए, वी ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट दिस 21st सेंचुरी स्किल सेट, राइट? ये जो 21st सेंचुरी स्किल सेट, ये ना 4 C's आपको सबको पता है, फिर भी आई वांट टू रिएटरेट, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, हम लोग, इट्स नॉट भूल जाना बट इट इज रिएटरेशन. चलो हम आज मैं क्लास में collaboration, let me see, my lesson plan should have some bit of collaboration. So if I keep on reiterating something, then you can bring that into class, right? So these 21st century skill set, the 4 C's, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking and communication, ये 4 जो C's है ना, ये हम लोग कोडिंग के थ्रू वी कैन अचीव. नाउ कैसे अचीव होगा? Okay, before I have start, okay, so I'll be talking about the veteran Steve Jobs says everybody should learn to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. Okay, I will talk to you about how the 4 C's can be integrated, but before that I want everybody to watch this video and get inspired. So I'm inspired talking to you, I'm motivated talking to you. I have maybe आधा तो रास्ता मैंने पार किया है कि कन्विंस करना आपको कि हाँ, कोडिंग बहुत सिंपल है. एज कंप्यूटर टीचर्स हम लोगों के लिए तो बहुत ही सिंपल है, और क्लास में हम लोग ऐसे एलिमेंट्स लाएंगे कोडिंग क्लासेस में जो बच्चों के लिए भी सिंपल हो जाएगा. ओके, सो बिफोर वी मूव अहेड, लेट मी जस्ट play this particular video, very, very inspiring. I want everybody to listen.
This week, I'm proud to join the students, teachers, businesses, and nonprofit organizations taking big new steps to support computer science in America's schools. Learning these skills isn't just important for your future, it's important for our country's future. If we want America to stay on the cutting edge, we need young Americans like you to master the tools and technology that will change the way we do just about everything. That's why I'm asking you to get involved. Don't just buy a new video game. Make one. Don't just download the latest app. Help design it. Don't just play on your phone. Program it. No one's born a computer scientist, but with a little hard work and some math and science, just about anyone can become one. This week is your chance to give it a shot. And don't let anyone tell you you can't. Whether you're a young man or a young woman, whether you live in a city or a rural area, computers are going to be a big part of your future. And if you're willing to work and study hard, that future is yours to shape. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So, wasn't it so inspiring that, a veteran talking to the citizens of America, that how important you are playing a game, but when you start making a game of your own, जो कैंडी क्रश हम लोग खेलते हैं, अगर बच्चे अपने वैसे ही सिमिलर कोई गेम खुद से बनाए, खुद का कलर, खुद का एप्लीकेशन, खुद का बटन्स डाले, खुद का पॉइंट सिस्टम करे, सो इजंट इट सो नाइस, लाइक मेरा गेम है जो आप खेल रहे हो. So it is so much of a, you can say a confidence booster for a child, and so much of learning, right? Now, I was talking to you about the 4 C's, the creativity bit, collaboration, critical thinking, and your communication. Of course, first important, communication. जैसे मैंने आपको example दिया था, a body and the communication, blood and the oxygen which is communicating in your body. Coding is like that. I am communicating with my machine. In which language? In coding languages, right? So I cannot say, hello machine, print this for me. वैसे मशीन समझेगा ही नहीं. आई एम स्पीकिंग टू यू इन इंग्लिश, आई एम स्पीकिंग टू यू इन हिंदी. आप लोगों को क्यों समझ आ रही है? बिकॉज यू नो द लैंग्वेज, right? Similarly, so communication build करना. Not only that, when you are doing a collaborative activity, collaborative is together. Maybe a group activity आप करा रहे हो जहाँ पे आपने बोला है कि मुझे एक सो एंड सो हम मैंने इतना पढ़ा है आपको, इसके ऊपर मुझे एक प्रोजेक्ट करके दिखाओ. सो ये बच्चे बैठ गए एक साथ, सोचने लगे, अच्छा मैम ने ये पढ़ाया था, मैम ने ये पढ़ाया था, कोडिंग में तो मुझे पता है सिंटैक्स में कैसे क्या करना है, व्हाट इज दिस. तो पहले बिफोर दैट मैं तो पहले एल्गोरिथम लिखूंगी, फिर फ्लो चार्ट ड्रॉ करूंगी, फिर ही मैं अपना प्लेटफॉर्म से मेरा जो कोडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है या लैंग्वेज है मैं उसमें कोडिंग करूंगी. सो दिस होल डिस्कशन, जहाँ पे कोई बच्चा बोलता है अगर पहले हम लोग डिजाइन कर ले क्या कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे, दूसरा बच्चा बोलता है नहीं नहीं पहले प्लानिंग कर लेते हैं. सो दिस होल कोलैबोरेशन while doing an activity in coding, and also communication, the level of communication where they are talking relevant terms only, is also a part of a skill, right? That is collaborative skill, correct? And at the same time you are also collaborating with the machine. So आप जो command दे रहे हो, the code you are writing, it is actually in collaboration to the platform you are using, to the language platform you are using, right? You cannot have a code written in some other language using some other coding platform. So this is collaboration. Third thing is critical thinking. Now we all know what is critical thinking. कि हाँ बाहर बारिश हो रही है and I know the solution or the solution to my problem is I take an umbrella or I wear my raincoat and I go out. But अगर मैं बोलूं कि ये तो अपना normal solution है, can you think about something else? So मेरा दिमाग चलने लगता है कि ठीक है अम्ब्रेला रेनकोट ये तो मेरा कॉमन चीज है, मैं और क्या कर सकता हूँ अगर बाहर it's raining heavily, what else can I do? So this is what is critical thinking all about. So even coding classes में मुझे पता है मुझे एक एप्लीकेशन बनाना है जहाँ पे एक ऐसा the solution should be कि कोई माने maybe the principal of the school has said कि मुझे एक ऐसा एप्लीकेशन स्कूल के लिए बनाना है कि मुझे समझ जाए कि फ्राइडे how many children will be absent क्योंकि it is a long weekend. Okay, maybe during Christmas or during when we have a long weekend, देखना बहुत बच्चे फ्राइडे भी छुट्टी ले लेते हैं because Monday is a holiday. So can I make an application जो predict कर सकता है so that I know that okay on Friday I will not keep such something very important. So if the principal wants to plan, okay, now if I give this task to children, so the normal thing is I will go to each child and ask कि कल आ रहे हो नहीं आ रहे हो, कल आ रहे हो नहीं आ रहे हो, ये मैंने सर्वे करके निकाल लिया. But if I put in my head and soul and think about some other solution to it, so I'll start thinking critically. Even on the coding platform, when I'm doing something, I have to give a solution which is offbeat. And not only that, it will help me improve my thinking power. So this is my critical thinking aspect, and coding gives you the opportunity to think critically. Of course, आप नहीं बोल सकते कि आज मैंने कोडिंग चालू किया है एक वीक के बाद मैं तो क्रिटिकल थिंकर बन गया. नहीं नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता है. It's over a period of time. It's like that, right? You can't see from a sapling you go to a big banyan tree. It doesn't happen that way, right? So it takes time. Of course, you have to be persistent. वो बहुत important है. Correct? So the critical thinking power, you can see it as little reflections in the child. If you keep a watch on a particular child or a particular group, जैसे हम लोग observations करते हैं, then you can see जो बच्चा अभी थोड़ा सा ये बहुत इजीली एक सोल्यूशन 2+2 4 होता है, मुझे पता है मैंने लिख दिया क्योंकि मैंने पढ़ा है, पर क्यों होता है फॉरवर्ड काउंटिंग की वजह से होता है. ये जो थिंकिंग मैं कर रही हूँ, ये जो चेंजेस आप देखोगे नोटिस करोगे, या लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कमिंग अप फ्रॉम द चाइल्ड, व्हिच मींस व्हाट, द चाइल्ड हैज लॉट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी इन हिज हेड, राइट? सो ये जो चेंजेस आप नोटिस करोगे, ये सब कोडिंग के बदौलत आपको मिल सकती है, करेक्ट? And my favorite is creativity. I have always heard people saying, or even students actually, coding तो बहुत dry subject है यार, वो तो कुछ नहीं है, it is just you have to sit in front of the computer, you sit in one corner, completely an asocial life where you are not interacting with anybody because you need silence. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It is again a myth. हम लोगों ने देख के, कुछ मूवीज देख के, कुछ ग्लिम्सेस देख के वी हैव डिसाइडेड कि भाई कोडिंग तो ऐसा ही होता है. नहीं, you can also put color to your imagination, put color to your coding screen also. How? The different applications you are creating, the different projects you are creating. कोई तो होगा जिसने Roblox बनाया है, and look at the amount of or the number of people using it and playing it. कोई तो होगा जिसने ये फूड ऐप स्विगी बनाए कि कोई कभी तो भी उनको लगा यार रात के 12 बजे मुझे भूख लग रही है, आई वांट समथिंग, नाउ माय मम्मा विल नॉट गेट अप एंड कुक. हाउ डू आई डू इट, whom do I go? अगर मैं रात के 12 बजे बाहर जाके कुछ खाना लेके आऊँ, इट इज डिफिकल्ट, इट इज डेंजरस, नॉट सेफ फॉर मी, व्हाट डू आई डू? सो वैसा कुछ तो थॉट प्रोसेस आया होगा. And that is when the creativity comes in. That is when you are actually putting wings to your imagination. And through coding, he's come up with these beautiful food apps. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा फूड एप्लीकेशंस के बारे में ही बोलूँगी क्योंकि आई लव ईटिंग. सो दैट्स व्हाई मेरा हमेशा मेरा एग्जांपल्स इज रिलेटेड ऑन एंड ऑफ अराउंड फूड एप्लीकेशंस. Anyway, so whatever I was talking is the crux is it gives you ample scope to creativity, and it is never a dry subject for me. Believe me, being colorful in my mind, I am a coder because I can put colors on my screen. If I think my application should be blood red in color, every bit of corner it should be red and it should have only different geometrical shapes as my buttons, I can do it. I can make it happen. Right? So the fourth C, creativity. Correct? So this is why I feel I keep on harping that the 21st century skill set is meant to be here, is meant to be achieved if we introduce children to these fundamentals of coding. So I've been talking to you about the 21st century skills. Now let's talk about some life skills which we develop. Most important, confidence building. You know how it boosts your confidence, right? Mm, my teacher comes in the class and I am a student who's a very average student, very soft spoken, not very, the pet, teacher's pet. And the teacher says that, can you come up with a project? I've taught you how to do the loops using those concepts. Can you make a project which has some application of loops, whatever I've taught you, the different types of loops? And this child comes up and he comes up with a very small, simple project and shows, ki, ma'am, this is my project. The teacher is happy that, okay, at least he's come up and he's spoken and spoken and shown me what project he's done. So I check. So then I tell my child that, can you do a better job? Can you put in more elements? So the next day when he is working on that same project, instead of say maybe a 1 minute project, he's extended it to 2 minutes, bringing in more elements, bringing in more animation, bringing in more characters, right? Bringing in more blocks, correct? So, and when he comes up and I say, wow, you have done a brilliant job. And for him, for that point of time, it is a confidence booster. So it may be like this would have been done by any other child, but for that particular child, it is a confidence booster. So when you have your own project being displayed, it's right in front of you. It's nothing in the air कि मैंने एक project बनाया वो देखो, मैंने वो project के ऊपर काम करके वो हो गया मेरा project. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You can just see it right in front of your screen, right? So I'm so sorry. ये ऐसे जब होता है when you can see the change, that helps you to boost your confidence. You become confident. अरे मैंने अभी इतना कर लिया, अभी तो it's just the beginning. I can do this. I can do this. So confidence booster. Second is patience and resilience. Very important. जैसे हम लोग अभी बात कर रहे थे वो black screen and that person sitting and just cracking the code. Now just think about the amount of dedication he has, because maybe the code is of only 4 lines, लेकिन जो मुझे output चाहिए था वो नहीं आ रहा है. So he or she is stuck on those 4 lines of code only, right? Which means कर रही हूँ नहीं हो रहा है. Again go back. Where have I gone wrong? Is there any syntax error? Whether I have put in one more colon to it, what is the problem? I am going on and on and on till I get my desired output. And this helps you to develop your patience, your resilience, that okay, it can so happen, आपने बड़ा सा एक code लिख लिया, a big program, long program you have made with n number of codes, like, okay, and the computer crashes. आपने save भी नहीं किया था. So all your मेहनत from morning till evening goes for a toss. But will you give up? नहीं, क्योंकि मुझे मेरा कोड याद है, मुझे फिर से बनाना है. Let me just get back and up fresh, let me start. It might so happen the next time when you do, it is a better product that you have done. The output is much better than what you have done before. So the patience and the resilience it gives you, it teaches you, is immense. You can actually see children who've been, moving here and there, biting the fingernails or fidgeting with the hair. You can actually see them glued in one place, trying to find out, where did I go wrong, ma'am? Where did I go wrong? So this is how it makes a difference in the life of a child, right? And these patience, resilience, your confidence, this will always help you in future. And these are all something which cannot be measured, but yes, it is watched, it is observed. The child, the teacher, we see the difference, right? Storytelling skills. Now we must be thinking that how in coding you can help, it helps in storytelling. Now, when you open an application, right? If you take a Zomato, you take any other app, any e-commerce, an Amazon or an Myntra, if you just open, you can see there is a particular pattern it follows, right? So you have different options given. So first and foremost, say for example, again, as I said, I love food. So if I open Zomato, so the first thing that comes in my mind is, okay, I am going to choose, should I go by the choice of my dish or the choice of my restaurant, right? Similarly, when you open Myntra, you have the options men, women. So let me categorize my gender, women. So I'll click on it. So there's a particular pattern we follow. Okay, so this is how I am using it, the pattern, and a user is using it. But when it comes to developing of an app, when that person, whoever has done the Zomato app or the Amazon or the Myntra app, in his mind, he has a story, which he is putting it in form of a code and in form of the application. So he has a story to weave and put it in there. So which means it improves your storytelling. It's like, the story of Cinderella. You will always talk about the shoe which she left at 12 o'clock in that hall. You cannot talk about it in the second, page itself. There was this prince, she left. It doesn't happen. So there is a pattern. There is a sequence in the story also. Similarly, the coder who has developed such applications have a sequence of story in the mind, which he puts it in form of an application he codes, right? Of course, lot of career opportunities. I won't say that you do Scratch, you do Python now till 10th, you will get some jobs in XYZ company. It's not like that. You have taste. It's like, if you don't know what it is all about, how will you decide that, okay, I want to do engineering, I want to do a mechanical engineering, a civil engineering, an electrical engineering, I want to be a doctor, I want to only pursue computer science. If you don't know what is coding all about, how will you at least decide that, okay, I have a knack for coding? No, I want to go to this art and craft side only because I'm exposed to it. So of course you have a plethora of opportunities right in front of you. So if you have an exposure to different types, then you can do a decision. And of course, that technology is in boom. Okay, the opportunities are immense. So of course you have an advantage when, even not only as career, when you are in small discussions, when the children are in small discussion, you must be, as teachers, we must be seeing this peer pressure. Are we are discussing about Python language. You don't know. Are you don't know. How you don't know? So there's so much of peer pressure. But if my school knows that, okay, this is in grade 5, we will only do this. We are going to, make a web page and make it live. In grade 9, we are going to do Python. So my discussion is limited to that. I can participate in the discussion of Python. Correct? Great. Yes, it is a blessing, you can say. Again, let me tell you that I get 8 out of 10. Okay, in coding, it doesn't happen. It is a skill which we have to develop. Again, coding is a skill. And recent changes in the education system, we have been talking about, itna hum log bol rahe NEP, NEP. But at the same time, बोल रहे अगर इम्प्लीमेंटेड हुआ या नहीं हुआ वो बात की बात है. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, हम लोगों को सबसे अच्छी चीजें मिल गई. क्या कि अभी लर्निंग इज नॉट कि मुझे ए फॉर एप्पल आता है, अप्लाई कहाँ करोगे, राइट? इट इज नॉट कि हिस्ट्री पढ़ लिया मेरा हो गया, मुझे पता नहीं ज्योग्राफी कैसे यूज होता है. इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी टीचिंग, ये सब बेनिफिट्स ऑफ दिस सो कॉल्ड हवा जो चल रहा है एनईपी का, हम लोगों को लेना चाहिए. Let it be implemented, let it not be implemented, let it take time to be implemented. But all the important points what we have in NEP, let's start putting it. And I'm sure you guys are all doing it. This interdisciplinary teaching, so interesting and important, fascinating. आप सोचो एक कोडिंग क्लास में आप फ्रिक्शन के कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे लेके आओगे, एक कोडिंग क्लास में आप इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन कैसे पढ़ाओगे. हम लोगों ने किया है, वी आर डूइंग इट. कैसे कर रहे हैं? जैसे आपको पता है ग्रेड 5 में फ्रिक्शन पढ़ाया जाता है. सो आई नो द चिल्ड्रन हु आर कमिंग फॉर एज टू लर्न कोडिंग विथ मी, दे हैव डन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ फ्रिक्शन. मैं आके बोलती हूँ कि ऑफ कोर्स दिस हैपेंस आफ्टर दे आर इंट्रोड्यूस टू द लैंग्वेज. ऐसा नहीं कि फर्स्ट क्लास में ही मैंने बोल दिया. ऑफ कोर्स दे आर इंट्रोड्यूस टू द लैंग्वेज, दे आर कंफर्टेबल विद द लैंग्वेज एंड देन वी स्टार्ट गिविंग देम दीज प्रोजेक्ट्स. सो क्लास में आए तो मैंने बोला सुनो, मैंने तो ये एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है. एक टीचर, आई एम अ टीचर, मैंने एक प्रोजेक्ट दिखाया कि एक गाड़ी जा रही है स्पीड से, ओके, और एक वही गाड़ी और एक जगह से जा रही है. सो दो रोड्स है, एक है एकदम स्मूथ रोड और एक है रगेड रोड, ठीक है. और मैंने काउंटर लगाया है कि हाउ मेनी लाइक हाउ मच टाइम डज द कार टेक्स टू रीच द सेम डिस्टेंस ऑन अ स्मूथ रोड ऑन अ रगेड रोड, ठीक है. तो मैंने ये दिखा दिया बच्चों को और मैंने बोला अच्छा बताओ जरा ये कैसे बनाए. बच्चे बोले मैम वील यूज दिस स्क्रैच प्लेटफॉर्म, वी विल डू दिस, वी कैन डू दिस, वेरी गुड. एंड हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू, मैम द रगेड रोड विल टेक मोर टाइम. देन आई से कैसे, हाउ, व्हाई विल द रगेड रोड टेक सो मच टाइम? Because it's slow, na, ma'am. The car will go slow. I said, why? Ma'am, we have learned in science about friction. The more the friction is, we have more resistance, right? And so the car will take more time. So the moment there is ruggedness on the road, there is more friction. So there will be. So what am I doing? Whatever they have taught in science class, मैंने reiterate किया in my coding class. And then I say, अभी तुम लोग project बनाओ जहाँ पे elements of friction होना चाहिए. So बच्चे will come up with so many creative ideas. You also know, right? There is team number of ideas they will come up with. Ma'am, can I have a snowball game using the concept of friction? Go ahead and show me. So this is what is interdisciplinary teaching. And this NEP, the change in the education system, is talking about that. I was just talking about all these things. Removal of marks criteria. Again, it is a very big statement, but you ask me, I will always say coding, these are skill subject. Okay, these are the subject which caters to the skill set development of a child. You cannot give marks to them. You cannot say that आज critical thinking में मुझे 10 में 8 मिला है, कल मुझे दो हफ्ते बाद I have got 9 out of 10. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's an observation. It's a reflection. Okay, if your thinking power has increased, if your patience, if your resilience, if your critical aspect, your creativity has increased, it will be seen on the things you do. Okay, so you cannot measure a skill. So this is one thing we have to in future. Maybe we will be we'll be overcoming this, of course, the marking system, correct? Okay, now I would like to show you 3 videos, right? One is which will be like for the children, that you can be also like them, and the other 2 are 2 applications actually. Okay, the 2 other applications on what children have made and their thought process. So I've been talking about these 4 C's. You can see it happen on these 3 videos.
Hi, I'm Shravan Kumaran and I'm 17 years old.
I'm Sanjay Kumaran and I'm 16 years old.
We both actually founded our own company. It's called Go Dimensions, which we started about 5 years back.
We've developed over 12 different applications for the iOS and Android stores and even for the Windows platform. And currently we're even developing hardware devices to solve major problems.
We used to develop about 4 apps in a year, but now we are kind of developing like large scale apps. We took about 1 year for this recent app called Go Donate, but that's because we also had our exams coming up. In Central Asia itself, about 500 million tons of food is being wasted each year. We developed this app where people can actually share this kind of food which they have left over, and they can give it to their local charities. And this is not just for food, this can be done even for clothes, and this can be even done for furniture. So actually a lot of our apps, if you see, has a social impact on it.
And we've always believed that we must always do something for the society again.
So we're a dad funded company. It's a term which we coined. So we go and pitch an idea to him. We tell him saying that, okay, we need this device for testing, and then he'll think about it, and then he'll accordingly give us money. We both actually are kind of like best friends. We don't fight a lot, in fact.
We agree on most of things. Generally, if we fight, it's most probably going to be about something like chocolates.
Before we're 30, actually, what we want to do is we want to have 50% of the world's smartphone users should have our apps running on their phone.
So wasn't it like, yeah, you can be also the next you. So anybody at this, the 17-year-old children, 17 साल के बच्चे जो ऐसा आइडिया लेके they have started their own business, small setup, जहाँ पे they are one very social cause they have put in their application, in their businesses. Food wastage नहीं होना चाहिए. Just look at the thought process. And these are all young coders who have persistently, learned and implemented and applied their coding skills. Now, I'm going to show you another application of, this is a grade 8 child who has done this application. So, हम लोगों ने क्या किया था क्लास में बोला था कि after of course they have learned enough of Python, enough of AIML tools, हम लोगों ने बोला था let's do one challenge, come up with an application idea which will have some social aspect to it, right? मैंने कुछ तो एप्लीकेशन बनाओ जो दिखाए कि तुमने अपने सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ किया है, okay? And this boy came up with this application when he did this creative ideation. When we have this ideation session, he said that, "Ma'am, मुझे लगता है इंडिया के farmers are at risk." So we said, "Why? How? Why do you feel so?" He felt that farmers suffer because they don't understand which crops to grow in their soil. So he said that, "Ma'am, I want to come up with an application, okay, an AIML application, AI tools use karke, which will help the farmers with recommendation of crops, its usage, its storage, what pesticides, what fertilizers to be used, if they given in the application, if they put in the details of the soil." So just imagine the thought process. So कितना 13-14 साल का बच्चा grade 8 का, he thinking about farmers, okay? So soil के details farmers को पता है, उसने application में डाल दिया, and what you get, a list of recommendations. So I will just play this for you, then you will understand the depth of his thinking.
See, I get this form kind of thing known as soil analysis, and it asks me a list of questions. So it first asks me the pH level of the soil ranging from 1 to 7. So suppose the pH level of my soil is 7. Nitrogen content, if it is 13 milligrams, phosphorus content is 67 milligrams, the calcium content is 98 milligrams, organic carbon is 34 milligrams, the particles per micrometer are 76, and the water holding capacity is 10 atm, and the soil type, you can enter 1 for clay, 2 for sandy, and 3 for loamy. So suppose the soil sap is loamy. After entering all my details, I can simply click on this analyze button. When I click on this, the page loads. And what I'm going to get next with the results. So now, as you can see, the analysis page over here has loaded. Precision agriculture recommendation. The goal of the recommended system is to recommend the crop to be planted, the type of fertilizer to be used, and the storage process for each crop based on the soil type and other factors. So this line basically gives again a clear idea to the user as to what our smart farm app is recommending.
Great. So it gave you such, it was an insight for us, right? For a child like him, 13-14 साल का बच्चा ने इतना सोच के such a wonderful application he's made, the smart farm app. And let me tell you, it has also gone for patenting and it is in process, right? Now, और एक बच्चे का मैं application दिखाना चाहती हूँ. This is called the gift point application. ये बच्चा ग्रेड 5 का है. So he said कि मैम, I have always seen my mother jostling कि गिफ्ट क्या दूं, तुम तो गिफ्ट इनविटेशन लेके आ जाते हो ना, मुझे ही तो गिफ्ट खरीद के तुमको देना पड़ता है. So it becomes so difficult for the mother, and it is a very common problem, right, for everyone. So he said that मैम, अगर मैं एक एप्लीकेशन ऐसा बनाऊं जो मुझे हेल्प करे ना, क्या मम्मा को हेल्प करेगी, करेंगे कि how what gift options I can have depending on the age, depending on the nature of the person whom I'm gifting. And so he came up with this gift point application. So what he does is, you have to enter the details of the person whom you're gifting, and the gift point application will give you recommendation list of things which you can gift the particular person. Which means जैसे लास्ट भी ऐप आपने जो देखा, ये भी एप्लीकेशन आप जो देखने वाले हो, so much of work has been done with for it, so much of data collection, so much of permutation combination, so much of coding, everything together to have something which is so smart, right? So I'll just play this. ग्रेट. सो वाज़न्ट इट सो इंटरेस्टिंग? मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, पता है आप लोगों को ये सब दिखा के कि इट हैपेंस इन द क्लास, एंड इट ऑल हैपेंस इफ द चाइल्ड नोज हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट विद द technology they are using. So, and that can only happen if you give them the exposure to how to code, to learn the coding language. So it's just like जैसे हम लोग हिंदी सीखते हैं, इंग्लिश सीखते हैं, so coding language में स्क्रैच, पाइथन ये सीखते हैं. So this is just as simple as that. Now, all this while I have been talking to you about NEP, I have been talking to you about skills, I have been talking to you about interdisciplinary teaching, जो हिंदी, साइंस, इंग्लिश, मैथ्स वो भी आप एक साथ कोडिंग क्लासेस में करा सकते हो. ये कोड मास्टर बुक comes with all these elements. So it is a complete package of not only concepts, but it also encompasses application, project based, n number of examples so that the child is exposed to different aspects. Okay, interdisciplinary approach, there are few chapters which deal with science concept, there are chapters which deal with SST concept, which means I am bringing in science, maths, English also in my coding class. So this particular book is a, you can say it is a small capsule which has all the elements which has to be taken care. And coding, of course, the language, the we've used in this book is very lucid, easy to understand, and it becomes a handbook for a child, and for a teacher it is always, it becomes a when you have something to follow on, that whatever you are doing in the class, the pedagogy you are following, the teaching learning mechanism what is there in the class, the dynamics, all when it is reflected in the book, it makes our life simple, right? So these are my highlights. Again, very importantly, the QR codes which are there, the QR which you have to scan, which the children have to scan and see the video, are very interactive. And it's not that, it's just a normal concept the person is saying. It's so interactive, lot of challenges, how to apply what you have learned, that so that the child comes back, that when will, again we'll see the QR code. And it keeps you going. The children, it's not only a content book that, okay, पहले पेज हो गया, सेकंड पेज हो गया. आई विल लुक फॉरवर्ड टू, अरे ये पेज में मैंने फ्लो चार्ट के बारे में पढ़ा है, what is the example ma'am has given in that QR video, let me go and see. So that's what excites the child with the content and the type of interaction you have through this QR code. The code master is in itself a beautiful, you can say a representation of what all we talk about. Yes, the USPs I was talking to you, we call it the vlogs. We don't call it the normal video, we call it the vlogs because the way it has been designed. Also, the exercise part, it's very interesting. You have a mix of MCQs, fill in the blanks, some concept based questions, and of course, a project where there is no answer key to it because your project, my project can be different because it's a perspective, right? Benefits of Codemaster. It's absolutely based on the board we are catering to. Okay. And very importantly, as ma'am was saying about coding bee. So all those who are using this book are become a part of this coding bee competition, right? So how does this happen? It's like a national level spell bee. You must have heard about spell bee. Spell bee is a very important, बहुत बड़ी एक competition होती है. So coding bee is also like that. So once they have learned a bit of the coding language, so उनको एक task दिया जाता है कि you have to come up with an app idea. After that, when they submit, there is shortlisting, and the top people will come on the same platform, national level, from every corner of India. They will come and do a complete presentation in front of industry experts. So, what is my app idea? How I have used it? Even the testing also of the application happens in front of the industry experts, whether your application app is working or not. So, this is also an excellent exposure to all the children who are, a part of Codemaster series. Okay. Yes. So these are my QR enabled textbook, New Age Learning, very important. Yes, experiences, projects, lot of the videos, interesting video. बहुत मजा आता है जब बच्चे इतना एक्साइटमेंट में नेक्स्ट वीडियो कब देखूंगी ऐसे आता है वंस द कॉन्सेप्ट एंड ऑफ कोर्स फॉर अ टीचर हम लोगों के लिए भी इट बिकम्स वेरी इजी राइट कि मैंने कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा दिया मैंने कैसे नाउ थ्रू द वीडियो इट इज रिएटरेटेड through the video there is one challenge given which I have to check at the end of the day. So this is how we have kept it like, a two-way, it's a collaboration we have done with the vlogs, with the content, and of course the teacher.
Reema, thank you. And literally, I'm seeing the compassionate teachers who are there and responding to this session. I have no questions for you except one very, very important question. Do you really need a teacher separately for coding and separately for computers? How do you go about it?
No ways. That's what I was telling them that we've already mastered the parts of our body. It's only the communication we have to just fix it, and we know it all. We've been doing it. So it's as in that's what it's a myth that coding is very difficult when it's not
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
Computer teachers, it becomes a cakewalk for them. So we do not need a separate teacher. We do not need a separate lab for coding. It's all there. Just put it as a part of the curriculum. That's it.
So, can I sum this up in one sentence saying that for a better tomorrow, coding is not for tomorrow, but today?
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for a wonderful session, Reema. And thank you all of you for joining us and being patient and, listening through both the sessions, segment 1 and segment 2. This is Darshana Dapke and Reema Deshkar signing off for today. Thank you. Have a good evening, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.